Hello and welcome to Popcorn and Plot Holes Goes to the Movies. We went to a movie together in
We're
the
real
same
people.
theater.
Yes.
Yeah, with real people in the same place, watching in the same screen. Unheard of.
I too am human.
I am the human. So I have to. Normally, we watched streamed movies or movies that aren't streaming, and you have had some time to watch the movies. We went and watched Deadpool and Wolverine. We were going to spoil the ever living shit out of this movie. So if you have not watched it and you do not want this movie spoiled, you should
Then bye.
Wow. Okay. Spoilers. I said we're spoiling things.
Yes.
But in a minute. So save this podcast, download it, listen to it, then download it, then this part, then stop, and save the rest of it until after you've seen the movie.
And as you're watching the movie, listen to the podcast.
Correct.
It's gonna enhance the experience.
Enhanced viewing experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's
it's
correct.
the best kind of director commentary, disc 2 joy that you never knew you needed in the theater.
Yeah, I advise you play it loud on speakers in the theater.
For everybody else to hear as well. They need
Even
this
better,
commentary.
bring like some Bluetooth speakers so it can
That's
be
right.
blasted.
Yeah,
Just John Cusack the fuck out of it.
That's
Right,
what
so-
we did.
Listen, let me get the introductions out of the way since you've all talked like assholes that you are. With me, as always, Spencer,
Hello.
Chris,
Hi.
Luciano.
Yeah, bye.
Okay, same thing again, twice. That's cool. And because spoilers, cameos happen all over in Deadpool, we also have brought a cameo to our show. The nice pool to my Deadpool, other Matt.
Hello. I would like all of you to realize that I look absolutely nothing like I normally would right now. I think they went to the bottom of the barrel for casting. Just saying. I have a full head of hair. It's disgusting and wrong.
We asked one person, they said no, and we turned to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
That's how it works.
And then we asked the person again if they changed
Out
their mind.
of
Are you
all
sure?
of our first choices, you were our second.
Yeah.
Are you
Hey,
sure?
and like, the good news is, just like Rob Liefeld, I am all feet.
Wait, sexually? Not
Oh,
sexually?
my
HR?
There's no
Sexually.
HR here.
There's no HR.
There's no HR here.
Hey,
Oh,
let's
no.
talk about this. Let's talk about this movie. Let's dive right in because we have lots to talk about on this one. As always, we're going to start with the thing we like the most about this movie, just in case we all hated it. Let's go with Spencer. What did you like about this movie?
There's a lot to like in this movie. I really enjoy it. I'm going to go throw a curveball at you, and I'm going to just say the music. There's a lot I liked. I'm sure we'll all get over it. But the music was fantastic, specifically for us millennials. Matt, what are you?
Us?
What are you, Matt?
Other Matt. You think other Matt's a
What are you-
millennial?
What are you, baby boomers?
Huh? Oh, God, no.
I think
Before
only
I
Matt-
started this, I was Gen X. Now I'm like, I don't even know. What's
All
the
right.
generation before a baby boomer?
The great
Silent
generation.
Captain America.
great.
generation.
It's the
Great
greatest
generation.
generation. Yes, Captain America.
That's right.
They're humble.
That's right.
Yeah.
Captain
The humble
America.
generation.
Yeah.
I thought the music was fantastic. There's so many needle drop moments where like the music came in and you're like, this is just perfect.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Like just
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Like really enhanced the scene. So
Apparently, they had to go personally ask Madonna for like a prayer because she doesn't really license it, and they showed her the scene, and she was like, "Okay."
I'm not even joking. I don't know if I'm the only one in the world who did it, but that scene, spoilers, at the end when they play Madonna while they're holding the hands and like it's
The
like all
orchestrated
happening.
sort of
The orchestrated
choir
version of like a prayer. I like was getting like shivers. Like I was actually like getting almost emotional. Like I was like, I don't know why. It just all came
I know
together
why.
really well because it was so perfect. So the music fucking got me. I gotta get that version of that song too.
I just want to throw in, I got an erection at that time, too. It was
Makes
amazing.
sense.
That's what I said.
That's
Yeah.
important commentary. Thank you. That's why
My
we
penis
invited you.
cried tears.
You know,
That is why you were absolute second choice.
Yeah, we had to have you just to know how hard your penis got during the watching
Exactly.
this movie.
it's important. Some people may want to know.
We'll check in periodically through the podcast just to see how hard it got or how soft it got.
Oh,
Hey, listen,
Likert
sometimes
scale.
it's not just full hard. Moving on from
True.
all of that, Chris, why don't you tell us what you enjoyed about this movie?
Shazam. So I think
He wasn't in this movie.
silence, bitch. I think I love how committed and single-minded Deadpool is, and everything about this movie is a fantastic, addition to
Four?
the like Deadpool.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, okay, cool.
Was that better? No.
It's fine.
Awful.
It's fine. It's a wonderful addition to like the Deadpool saga, but it's given us the best interpretation of Wolverine that we've always needed. Like Marvel, Disney, Fox have always been tiptoeing around the type of ferocious Wolverine that we needed. Like you only get it in the comics, and you get it in when it's in other hands, other creators' hands. But holy shit,
They got the suit with the mask, buddy.
Yeah.
Not just that, but we know Wolverine fucking cusses. We know that. And like he's absolutely, it's just like it looks like Hugh Jackman had such a wonderful time releasing all of that anger with the right triggers, right? Like fucking shut up, like grumpy old grandpa with claws that'll slice and dice you, like absolute masterpiece. Okay, and then the two of them together, comic gold, action gold, adaptation gold. So
yeah, certainly Logan was an excellent movie. But it was a much different Wolverine, right?
There's no comparison.
Yeah.
It's such a different, like, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think they're ever going back to a non-R-rated version of Wolverine.
Nor should they.
Spencer,
like,
is that Wolverine beside you? I can hear him meowing.
It's like
quiet Logan.
And thanks to this movie, we can effortlessly sweep all the previous movies with Wolverine in it under the rug.
Well,
like Origins, the Wolverine, they did their own thing. I'm not saying they're shit, but I'm saying in comparison, we don't need them anymore.
You keep your mouth off of X2. You keep your goddamn mouth off of X2.
I'm not saying it's crap. I'm saying, but that was the best we had at the time. Now we have so much better.
Well, I mean, Days of Future Past was like good.
I think you need to watch X2 again.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's shit. I'm just saying
Spencer,
now that we have this, it's fantastic.
Spencer, I think you need to watch X3 again.
too soon.
Gene, please, Gene.
Yeah, that's fair. No, that's good. I like that. I like that one. We are right. Wolverine was fucking amazing in this movie. Other Matt, what do you got?
I don't want to be offensive, but I got to say, I just was really down.
That's new. You don't want to be offensive? That's new.
Dirty, filthy, greasy Australians. I think that was my biggest thing there. Just man meat everywhere.
The end scene when his costume burst accidentally on purpose.
Cover those greasy tits, you preening slut.
I mean,
one of my favorite quotes of the whole movie.
Just chef's kiss. Awesome. And I really did dig the random cameos that were all recast, so no one actually knew who the heck they were. I think I was thinking about this a while back, and I thought they were fighting Popeye in the red and white shirt, only to find out that apparently he was some villain from Thomas Jane's Punisher.
The Russian.
That guy. Oh, that the big, not the Big Show, but the other Kevin Nash played him in that Punisher.
Yeah, and had blonde hair. And then they had this guy who they clearly found at the electronics section of a Walmart. Like they just, I don't know who they were.
It's a Radio Shack.
Yeah, there's a lot of good parts. I mean, there's so many lines that I was like, when I was thinking back on the movie, I'm like trying to remember the parts I liked, and they're so quick. It's hard to like. It's like you definitely need a movie you want to watch more than once because it's like there's so many jokes. The one joke that I remember that like the whole theater laughed at, but they all laughed like 2 seconds after the joke was told. There was a pause, and then they laughed. Was when he said, "Come again? This time in my ear."
Yeah.
It
took a second.
The whole theater took a second, and then they all started laughing.
Yeah.
And then, like when Wolverine, when they were just about to meet Cassandra Nova, or when they were first time conversating, and Deadpool was saying too much, and Wolverine was like, "Shut up!" And then Deadpool like recoils, like, "Oh my god, that was that shut me up, and I liked it."
Yeah.
You just don't know what's going to happen, and it's always right.
I just like there's no one else that could play Wolverine at this point. So I mean, anything and everything, all of that with Wolverine.
Cavalrine?
I mean, that's pretty good.
Man.
I think
it's pretty good.
I was actually saying this to somebody else. Like, I think the best part of the movie, like the actual, like clearly the best part, you have two people playing characters that they were born to play. They are literally probably the two best castings in all of superheroes, except for maybe Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man. I'd say is the only other comparable one.
And Eric Bana's Hulk.
Obviously, Eric Bana is Hulk.
He's the best.
Or Edward Norton is Hulk.
No,
right.
Lou Ferrigno.
I want you guys to know, I started watching that 3 years ago. Just about done. It's amazing.
You're almost there.
Almost there.
But they're like the two like Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are just like such perfect versions, like actors to play those roles.
Well, the interesting thing you bring up with the Spencer is they're the perfect actors to play the roles, and the movie works so well because, listen, I love Ryan Reynolds. He's a Canadian treasure. I'll protect him until the day we die. He's not a good actor. He's just fucking around.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, he's just being a Ryan Reynolds. But Hugh Jackman is an amazing actor. And there are two times, like, the scene when he actually explains to Cassandra Nova, like, all the X-Men in his universe died because he was fucking around. Does a great job to sell that. And then, the rest of the movie, Ryan Reynolds is just, like, jumping around, making dick and fart jokes, stabbing a bunch of dudes. Like, he doesn't have to do any real acting at all. So it works.
Like, Ryan Reynolds is like, he's like, my whole world. This is my whole world here. He's like, and I gotta save them. And then Hugh Jackman is just like the scene when Hugh Jackman finally snaps at him in the car right before they fight. He's such a good actor. Like it's just he punches the roof of the car in his like rage. And I remember just being like, it reminded me of his performance in like Prisoners. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh yes. Where is my daughter?
Yeah.
Where is my daughter?
Like so much rage coming out of him.
It's the difference between like a character actor like Ryan Reynolds, who is perfect for Deadpool, and a guy who's a really, really good actor like Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, so there's a couple scenes where he gets to like act, like that was another review I read was saying it's like Hugh Jackman could have easily like come in this and just, had fun and not taking it seriously.
Yeah,
but he's you can tell he's like giving it.
Oh yeah,
there was a lot of innuendo in that sentence when he comes in here and just gives it. Come on,
we watched the movie. That's what we do.
Right here.
It may have been by design.
Comes in the year.
Yes,
that is the value of having Hugh Jackman play Wolverine, because you need a straight man. Otherwise, it doesn't work, right? It's just two Deadpools, and we're all bored 20 minutes in.
There we go. Just needing another straight man. My God.
How dare you?
I mean, everybody around him was suddenly not straight, so we needed one at least.
And then the plus one on top of all these like spot on points is their chemistry, like as like actors, professional like actors, and then like they're besties in real life. And so the freedom you have where you could bounce off each other, not dissimilar to what we do here. I mean, they do it in a different arena. We do it here.
Bounce and bounce.
And they're best friends, and we hate each other in real life. So
what?
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know I hate all of you? Yeah, this is a punishment for all of you.
Hey, I make you hate Luciano.
I make you report a podcast that no one listens to. This is the greatest punishment for all of you.
Someone enjoys our shit. Anyways, well, it doesn't. Not by shit. I mean, comedic shit.
Thank you. Yeah, that fixed it. Great job.
Saved it there.
Let's talk about this movie more, because I want to.
Yeah.
Can I say what I like best about this movie, motherfucker?
Hey, if you could say the cameos, that'd be great, because that's where I wanted to go, and I'd like to have a nice.
I actually was.
Perfect.
Unironically going to say,
look at that. This is about professionals.
My favorite thing, and I think I'm going to answer the question you're going to ask, so then you can just segue into it.
Perfect.
My favorite thing was Chris Evans as Johnny Stark.
Wow.
I was so taken aback by it, and it because I said Avengers Assemble along with Deadpool, and when he said Flame On, I was like, what the fuck? And then I started thinking, he had like dark hair, not blonde hair, and all that stuff. So I really, really enjoyed it. I like more than any other cameo, I think.
Yeah, that was perfect.
You really bring up a great point, Luciano, because
you're welcome.
I want to know what everybody loved, what other cameos everybody else loved. So I like to take this segue and force that question into the podcast right now. And go.
I mean, the obvious. I think the biggest fan favorite was Blade.
Yeah.
And his walk-in music was fucking sick too. It was like it's like a sick beat, and he walked in.
Yeah.
The whole theater was like going crazy for that one.
And it's easy to forget that Reynolds and
I forgot they were in Trinity together.
Right, I forgot that they were together.
Yeah, I had to.
I forgot that was a movie.
Well, it makes sense.
Trinity was decent, honestly.
You
I mean,
take
there's
that back.
two words for you. Jessica Biel.
I mean, yeah. So
Oh,
She
right.
was there.
I was wondering who was in that. I'm like, who was the discount Jennifer Garner in that movie? I can't remember.
Oh wow.
we're not going to get into how their careers went at all. We'll just talk about the fun cameos.
My pick was Blade, and he was good in it. He was there was the scene when they first started fighting, and he was actually like fighting people.
Yeah.
That was when it first kicked in. I'm like, shit, this is actually Blade. Like he's fucking doing his like classic karate that Wesley Snipes always brings to his roles.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is sick seeing him actually fight again.
Snipes foo.
And they had the decency to, bring back.
Yeah.
That sounds racist. We're moving past it, Chris. We're not going to focus on it.
No, it's not.
No, it's fine. No, but it was great that he used his famous catchphrase one more time because we all need to hear it.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers always try to ice skate uphill.
Motherfuckers still trying to skate uphill. I skate uphill.
Listen,
I found that part a little bit forced. It was like one of the only
Of course
parts.
it was.
But
I
I still
wasn't
liked
expecting it, and then when he hit it, I was like, awesome.
It was completely out of the blue. It had no connection to the scene. Who
Yeah.
cares? It was great.
Well, it didn't have any connection to the original scene. It was Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't.
I'm sorry, this movie is supposed to make sense and be
sense?
stitched
Yeah.
together in a perfect way for you.
But
Yeah.
before we talk about the other cameos, I will say the good thing about this movie is every cameo in this movie was had a purpose. It wasn't.
Yeah.
It's so easy to just be like, "Hey, look, this is fun. This is fun. This is." All the cameos actually had a role in the movie to some degree, except for Cavalrine. But even that made sense because it was they're going through all the different versions of
That was like what? Like a 10-second?
It was 10 seconds, yeah. But all the other ones were actually characters. Like, we're gonna bring back Elektra, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's fun," but she's actually gonna be have a noble sacrifice and have an arc.
Role and matter for the.
Hey, man, she doesn't die.
Oh yeah, whatever.
That's
Maybe.
what I was saying before.
Who knows? We'll answer that later.
We'll
And then
talk about it.
Shatterstar met his untimely
Shatterstar.
demise to a slice of pizza.
It's fine. We're not-
That's all he did.
that's a different movie entirely. We're not going to
Did
worry
he
about
ate
it.
pizza in this one?
Oh, I
But
mean,
go
that's
on.
fair. Yeah, but he survived to eat pizza. No,
You're
okay,
right.
so, Matt, what
Well,
was your favorite
here's the thing.
cameo?
I was going to say, I was more lamenting the cameo that never was. I mean, as I said to you guys earlier, I've been watching a certain movie for the last 42 years. And I would say, starring a Mr. Eric of the Bana, where was
E-Babs.
the Nick Nolte coming in
Oh
as
my
the absorbing man?
God.
How amazing would that be if he just walked in and said, "Do you think I'm any different from you?" And then just hits him with a chair that's coming out of his hand.
Except if
I
it was
think
Nick
that would have
Nolte,
been-
he would have said, "Do you think I'm any different from you?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
did
like
you guys? Yes, go ahead.
slightly less coherent and way more drunk.
You have to you can't say the words; they have to fall off your mouth.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm any different than you?
Just hire Channing Tatum's voice coach for this, and you'll be golden.
Mon cher.
That's too clean.
Yeah,
I am gonna do it, huh?
yeah,
But
that
if
was.
Nick Nolte
The Game Boy.
was
I don't know what that was.
absorbing
Nick
man,
Nolte. Yeah,
Nick Nolte, right?
I think.
If he-
I don't.
Yeah, he was.
It's very
He was.
vague in the movie.
No, he was in the Banner version, right? But in the Void, I think you just unearthed a huge discovery. That's who the fuck Eliath is.
He could be the absorbing
Hey,
man.
man.
That's clever.
Talking
Show
about
your
Goliath
work.
from Loki season 1, episode 5.
Because how many versions of Eliath are there? Like
At least one.
At least
Yeah,
one.
at least.
at least because there's always an Eliath apparently in I saw Loki. There's always an Eliath in the multiverse, right? And so across the multiverses. But how do we know that Nick Nolte absorbing man in the Bannerverse?
Are you saying that Nick Nolte voiced Eliath in this movie? Because I would believe it. It's just
Yeah,
a
I think
groan.
so.
It's just a groan, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Perfect.
So Nick Nolte in the throes of ecstasy.
No.
Yes.
Or Nick Nolte in
Just eating breakfast.
or Nick Nolte in the DMV trying to renew his driver's license.
Yes.
know-
Trying to say his name.
You know how they have those T-shirts where it's like the many faces of Darth Vader, like half he's sad, grumpy.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Nick Nolte's voice.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nick Nolte in line at the pizzeria asking if he can get broccoli on his pepperoni and meat and mushrooms. See?
No, you were too coherent again, Spencer.
Yeah,
Form words.
he's becoming lucid.
Yeah, Spence, you got to drink at least 4 bottles of whiskey and then come back. You'll be good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, maybe he voiced Dogpool.
Yeah.
All right, nailed it. Good work, everybody. Any other cameos you want to talk about?
No one talked about Gambit yet. Like
Oh, you
Channing
wanna
Tatum
talk about
as Gambit.
There's
It's
a
dope.
reason.
But okay, that's
That was
fine.
I
I'm just
loved
saying.
Gambit. He was hilarious.
Yeah.
I like how they pointed out how bad it was. I mean, I don't
Fully
know.
self-aware.
So here's the thing
Everything about it was bad.
Here's the thing about that Gambit cameo is that everyone knows, like if you're a nerd like us, that
Yep.
that Channing Tatum has been trying to play Gambit for years,
Yes.
and he's been trying to get a movie made for Gambit for years. And my question
Yep.
is, was this the accent he was gonna do
Yeah.
in the Gambit movie?
I hope not.
when did they know? Like, did they add that insult about his accent in post?
No,
Or
that's
like-
100% like him fucking around.
Yeah.
So you think he like hammed it up?
Oh
I
yeah,
think so. Yeah.
Well, I
like-
mean, the costume looked like it was bought at Spirit Halloween.
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
like 3
he
sizes too small.
He looked like a stuffed sausage in that thing.
He looked like Channing Tatum from the neck up and Joey Fatone from the neck down. Like, it just didn't.
Guy Fieri. Here's Guy Fieri from the net.
At no point, like he the thing is like he's not how I picture Gambit at all.
No. Because Gambit in the comics, in the animated series, he's like slim, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Channing
Yeah.
Tatum looked like a fucking hoagie. That's what he looked like.
I was going to say, Gambit is like what Timothy Chalamet will eventually do because he plays everyone and would actually suit him if he was somewhat jacked.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
what I mean?
I'd be here for it.
You know, if he just had like a Spider-Man-ish physique, he'd look exactly like
it'd
Gambit.
be great, actually. Yeah.
I'd say like almost like a
Okay.
Michael Fassbender type, like
Yes.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Chris, tell me what you think. Tell me your words.
This version of Gambit, or rather, I wouldn't say version, but this approach to costuming Gambit with Channing Tatum is what happens when you let Joel Schumacher get his filthy Batman and Robin paws on the costume production department budget.
I can see that. I can actually
Gambit.
see that. Yeah.
I will
It's
say
like
this,
he took a bike pump and he went
and it
nibbles.
pumped only the nipples.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only thing that
Nipples.
was missing was nipples on that costume.
That's what he's saying. He's
And
got
then
a
he
new
let-
costume shop called Nipples and Cod Pieces.
That's right.
That's all it
and
is.
then he let all the air out of poor Channing Gambit Tatum's headgear to the point where he was all sausagey, as y'all said.
Yeah.
I will say it was really nice to see a little like R-rated Gambit action, which I never
Yes.
thought I would see in live action.
No.
You know, you expect to see an R-rated Wolverine maybe one day, but I never thought I'd see Gambit using his powers to explode his power of like touching to explode
Yeah.
people, and that was fantastic. You're always
Kinetic,
like,
and then use
he could do that, but he
that
doesn't.
too.
I actually really like.
I used to use my power of touching all the time, but now apparently the courts and decent society says I'm not allowed to do
All
that.
they told you was to do it inside, man.
The quote unquote
What?
judge.
What is the point of a gift
Inside,
if you
yes.
can't share it?
Did
I actually really like the way the powers were like the
Gambit's
CG
kinetic
of the
powers?
powers.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
really cool.
And the
What?
fact he used his bow staff to like ignite it and then
Yeah.
blow somebody up,
Yeah.
perfect.
so? Was there cameos you think were missing?
Oh,
Nick
man.
Nolte.
Nick
Yeah.
Nolte's one.
No, he's there. He is.
Alive.
alive.
He is Deadpool.
Missing. Well, they missed Vinnie Jones as Juggernaut, and they got whoever that was from Subway. That looked like Jared in a Juggernaut suit. But what they missed Miss Domino. They didn't bring back Zazie Beetz as Domino.
I don't think that's what Matt was
asking. But she wouldn't have been in the trash heap, though. She's in the real world.
Cameo.
Yeah. The ones that we didn't talk about.
I would have liked to.
Happened.
I really would have liked to see Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, they had such a big connection in Logan too, and
true.
It'd been cool if you know what would have been the best time is when he has his when she enters his mind, and he's like by all those graves.
Right.
If Patrick Stewart came out and like helped give him. Like
get her out, kind of thing. Yeah,
helped him battle her mentally.
This is just a Spencer fanboy fever dream, right?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And he touches him on his shoulder
sexually. Where on the doll did he touch you?
No,
Logan?
And then he says, "It is possible to not fail." It
what?
Is possible. Sorry, that's not the quote.
That's not really it.
Let me start again. Let me start again.
It is possible to not fail, but you just did.
No.
It's
let me try again.
To not fail if you don't fuck it up. But anyways,
it's possible to do nothing wrong and still fail. That is not failure. That is life. There it is.
Anna Paquin should have been coming back.
See, now you're thinking,
as Rogue.
A little Rogue.
Oh,
She could still, show up in a movie and not fall over. So that'd be great.
I mean,
due to age.
I mean, it's Anna Paquin, so she's usually falling more to the backwards on the floor,
fair,
legs up. Kind
of
situation.
I don't know what's happening.
How is Anna Oh, is that it? I didn't know.
She plays one in a movie in Vampire fucking Diaries or whatever.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
acting.
Is that what it is? I had no idea. I was like, "What? How am I? Why am I not getting this reference?" Turns out, I just didn't.
Let me just dig it out of there. We talked about it also a little bit. Shows the. I think we all agree it would have been really cool if in that scene where she goes into his mind and it shows all the X-Men how they died if they had all the people from the first X-Men movie.
It would have been nice to see how the X-Men in that Logan's universe passed.
Yeah, especially if they were all wearing the comic accurate suits like Logan is.
Right. Yes.
So you see who was the guy who played
Toad?
No, not
James
Toad. James Marsden. Yeah, you see Cyclops and it's like blue with the yellows. Do you see James Marsden in that? You see
with the Joel Schumacher.
No. We're not the same design. Whoever made the Logan suit.
Oh, okay.
And then you see Femke Janssen, whatever, with the proper Jean Grey attire.
I don't know. I think it would have been sad.
Do you want to see Kelsey Grammer in the
de-age them?
I do.
Like just Kelsey Grammer in his tidy whities with all blue.
Right. Yeah, we couldn't afford CGI on me.
The budget ran out right there.
And it came back right after.
Is Blueface okay? Or is that
fine? I blew myself.
Because the budget ran out, so you get Kelsey Grammer as Hank McCoy Beast before he goes blue fur. So it's just a naked man in undies.
So just Frasier naked.
Frasier and he's gigantic with let me cook with Hobbit feet because that's Hank McCoy's feet size. So he's got on prosthetic used Hobbit feet and just
is he scatting?
Just some slippers.
So yes, he is scatting. Okay.
And then he walks into Cheers, and everybody greets Norm.
Every class.
Too far, man. That's not. Just less is more.
Anyway,
less is more. No, I mean that's that's fine. The only other cameo I think we could have used is. Anybody from
where?
I was going to say I guess you couldn't use Taylor Kitsch's Gambit.
I thought you were going to say Swift. I'm like, no, God,
no.
Taylor Kitsch's Gambit.
Yeah,
he was Gambit in the.
Yeah, that would have been cool. But it is better having Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum is actually funny.
They could have brought Jessica Alba as Sue Storm. And
Michael Chiklis.
Fucking bring in Michael Chiklis. I fucking love Michael Chiklis. The Shield for life.
I was going to say, yes, bring Michael Chiklis in, but not as the Thing, as the guy from the Shield.
Now we're talking about Vic Mackey. Vic Mackey, baby.
Yes.
No, fuck that. I'll do you one better.
The dirty cop.
You bring Michael Chiklis in as the commish.
Yes. There you go.
He should be like Kelsey Grammer, just in tidy whities painted orange.
That's right.
We also fine.
We also lost the budget.
Yeah.
Like, why are they wearing clothes?
What's the name of the dude that played?
But then again, I also.
Oh, nobody knows.
Sorry,
But then again, I've also heard that Michael
remember.
Chiklis is also someone who is a massive whore. So, there is that too.
That's fair.
Way to even it out. Now you're back.
That one's true, though.
Ion
A massive whore, just like Anna
Ian
Paquin.
McFadden?
Thank you. So it's
Is it?
it's ION something. Well, IMDb it, but yeah, he was in it. Or you could have done the terrible, well, not terrible, depending on who you talk to, the Doom from Fantastic Four 1-2, Johnny Storm.
Who the hell played Doctor Doom in those movies? Does anyone actually know? Was it a person?
Yeah, it's the
Julian something. Julian
no,
McMahon.
Yeah,
It's
it was
Toby.
the guy that. It was the
Vince
guy that
McMahon?
plays. There's
Vince
in Nick and Tuck.
The wrestler?
That's how I remember him, too. The guy from Nip and Tuck.
Julian
Josh
Michaels.
Nick and Tuck.
It was
Crank.
Jillian Michaels.
Actually, I remember him as Cole from Charmed. That's what I remember.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dating yourself.
Yeah, I
am.
got it right. Julian McMahon. That's who. I got it right.
Dr. Doom? What movie are you talking
No,
about?
that's Reed Richards.
Talk about the Fantastic Four movie.
The Doom was Julian McMahon, and then
Okay.
In
Julian
what
McMahon.
in what Fantastic Four? Like
The one with
first two
Chris
with
Evans.
Chris Evans.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Toby Kebbell was the Dr. Doom from Josh Trank's movie. We should have.
I think it's funny
Oh,
that
him.
no one anywhere was requesting cameos from that Fantastic
that-
Four movie.
I wonder
No.
why.
Matt got
I was-
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan should have shown up, and they should have had a room like him and Chris Evans, Human Torch, just fight it out, just meet each other. For the
Johnny
first time.
storming each other.
Just to fuck with everyone who was just like, oh, Johnny Storm can't be black. And then, like, hear me out. They go and they're trying to break someone out, and they end up in a room filled
Yeah.
with Johnny Storms, all different races.
No, not
All
just that.
different
Like
races,
go
just
the
hundreds
full
of them.
Spider-Man
And
route.
all
Have a
horrible
pig.
stereotypes of those
Have
races. Like a full-on Russian one where he's just got a horrible Russian accent.
Are you?
That'd be great.
I just want to be clear. You're not describing a race war, are you?
No, I'm describing
coming
a
together.
war between several different
They're
Johnny
coming
Storms,
together.
Yes.
all
in
from
their
different
years.
races, so that Michael B. Jordan and Chris Evans can come together and make sweet love.
There
But
can
you have
only
them
be
fighting
one.
each other.
There can only be one. No, they're
Sexually
just gonna,
fighting each
no,
other?
they're not going to fight.
Yes,
They're going to race.
sword fighting.
They're all going to race, and the winner
Right.
will be deemed the master race.
Oh no.
There you go. That's good too.
Oh no. Oh no.
Firepower.
That's
The
what they
Reed
say.
Richards?
That's what they say instead of flame on when they fly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
a flame
thanks.
on, honey.
No, they go firepower and then fly.
The
They
Reed
open a
Richards we were
Pabst Blue
trying.
Ribbon. Firepower.
Or what? Samuel Adams or Samuel Jackson, depending on what your flavor palette is.
I would
It's my beer.
I
I
would've
like
liked-
that this podcast is about as coherent as the movie. So,
Yeah.
We've
Yeah,
tapped
pretty
into
much.
it.
yeah.
I would have liked to seen Thomas Jane's Punisher. That would have been cool.
I was gonna say
Or
that.
a Punisher, yeah.
Yeah, because they said they all died.
Oh yeah.
They mentioned it.
So old. I wonder
But
which.
still-
I wonder which Punisher was the last one standing. But
John Bernthal for sure.
because Dolph Lundgren was Punisher too.
Oh
As
God,
well.
I forgot about that.
That would have been
Yeah.
the
That
best.
would have been an excellent
It was.
one where he doesn't have the skull, he just has it like in his beard because apparently that's what they did. Some
Yeah.
rumor.
We don't have skull budget. You make do.
You do exactly.
I break you.
Ian Grufford was the first Reed Richards in the two
Who the
Fantastic
fuck is that?
Nobody
You
cares.
know his face, but that was his name.
Yeah.
Man, I think that's all the
Fucking
cameos
bored.
I would have wished for. It's funny that we're all thinking because of the context of the movie that we want cameos from all the Fox movies
Yeah.
because we've seen
Well,
the movie.
that was intentional, right?
I know, but going into the movie, people were probably like, "Oh, I can't wait to see like the cameos coming from the MCU because now they're combining properties."
Yep.
But it's funny once you see the movie, you're like, "No, you want to see all the Fox people."
Yeah, it doesn't feel like a cameo if it's because they've done so many superheroes being in other people's movies and
Yeah.
TV shows that it doesn't feel like a cameo anymore. It's just like because it's called Captain America, Winter Soldier. Like, okay, you expect Captain America and you expect the Winter Soldier. The Black
then
Widow's there, and the Falcon's
12
there.
others, yeah.
So
Yeah,
so it's
that's
like
true.
It like you kind of had to do non-standard characters, like just to make the cameos fun and hit
I mean,
the way they did.
we did have the cameo of Paul's Rudd finally aged corpse.
Oh.
Yeah. And we also saw Happy Hogan.
As he himself called it.
Chauffeur.
I love that. Was another one of my favorite quotes. It's like, oh, at least Paul Rudd finally aged.
Spot fucking on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. That one he said, "You're not gonna scare me with that. Pegging's not new for me, but it is new for Disney." He winks at the camera.
And he winks at the screen. Yeah.
Good stuff. I mean, I think that's it. I think we nailed it.
I think we nailed it. I mean,
Bullseye,
anyone
yeah.
else?
There's also Bullseye, but anyways.
No, we don't need him.
What do you
Colin
want to bring
Farrell?
Colin Farrell?
He's a traitor. He lives in the DC universe now. He's dead
That's
to us.
not a traitor.
He's dead to us.
Fucking whore.
It was the money.
Bullseye was there.
Yeah.
There was a Bullseye there. He was
Yeah.
black in the movie.
Wait, what?
Yeah, one of the
Really?
one of the guys, like of Cassandra Nova's henchmen, was
Okay.
a black guy wearing
didn't even notice.
wearing Bullseye's clothes and had the Bullseye symbol on his forehead.
Whoa. Okay, great.
Yeah, I didn't see it at all.
Let's see if it's listed here in the.
Do
Credits.
it. Do it.
Yeah, I don't
IMDb.
know if you want to be
IMDb.
typing black bullseye into Google.
I didn't know.
That's what you need. That's
I'm just looking at IMDb like a safe boy.
He's like, I'll just Google black penis just to be safe.
work my way up. Work my way up.
I swear, I was
from the
listening,
bottom.
looking for British programming. I don't
Let
understand what
me-
you're talking about.
I'm just going to segue us into anything but this. And we'll start with. All right, let's get real for a second. This podcast is called Popcorn and Plot Holes. We've talked a lot about the popcorn, and normally at this point in time, we talk about the plot holes. There is, however, a little hiccup in the sense that this movie has no plot, and it's just a vehicle for Deadpool hijinks. But that being said, they were allowed to break the fourth wall, and we're going to break the fourth wall because the biggest offender of plot holing is Marvel, represented by in this movie by the TVA, for creating the multiverse and having no idea what the fuck they want to do with it. And
Quoted in movie too.
quoted in a movie. And
Yeah.
That's not really breaking the fourth wall, Matt. Like, we're not breaking the fourth. I'll break the fourth wall right now. Hey, listener, you enjoying the show? Talk to you later. I'm Deadpool.
that was really helpful and insightful. Thank you,
Incredibly
Spencer.
lame.
But
accurate.
I want to use this time to maybe just take a sidestep into the Marvel multiverse and the plans they have now, or we can talk about the obvious like Doctor Doom announcement with Iron Man being back. I don't know if we want to get caught in that rabbit hole, but in general, like it sucks.
Yeah.
Other than what somehow Sony telling a good multiverse story with Spider-Man.
Probably the best one. Definitely the best one.
Yeah, they haven't done anything interesting or fun realistically with it other than, like little bits and pieces of doing it. And so what the fuck is this? Why are they so bad at the multiverse?
Well,
I think because they want to keep it serious, maybe not be the word, but they want to keep it coherent, and so they're scared of going like this movie did and going fucking out of its way and getting Chris Evans, who plays Captain America, to play another character and not giving two fucks about it. I think Marvel wants to take it a tad more seriously than that, and I think that's why it's getting fucked, at least in my opinion.
I mean,
Spencer, I think I know what you're gonna do. Go.
I was gonna say, it's not all just to be fair. Loki was pretty good,
Yeah.
and so was
That's fair, yeah.
and so was Spider-Man: No Way Home, which is also a multiverse story.
With the Mysterio?
No, the one with
Yeah,
So
so
that's
that's
bring all
the
the
best one.
villains.
with the multiple Spider-Man.
Sinister Six.
So that is the best multiverse
movie.
story
So
in
they're not-
Marvel.
It's not all missed, but the thing is, the big problem with the multiverse thing is, it's you can do it like a one-off thing, but if you make the whole, it's the same problem with the comics. It's once you start going into that, it lessens the importance of everything, right? It's if there's a infinite amount of Captain Americas, one dies, another one gets replaces them, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, why do I care if one dies?
Yeah, that's true.
Right? If we could kill Matt and have him replaced with a clone of Matt from another universe, we'd do it, especially if that Matt was a little nicer. obviously.
He's not.
True.
He's a chance he'd be worse.
It's true. The more you go into it, like for example, there are some Anna Paquins that are perfectly decent, normal
my
people
Got triples down.
who are not whores.
Who threw
Now,
this
if you'll
man
excuse
a
me,
shovel?
I'm going to talk
We had
directly to
taken the
listeners.
shovel away
Now,
from
listen.
him, and someone threw a
Hold
shovel
on.
back to him.
I'm breaking the fourth
She
wall.
played a
Give me second.
character
Now, listeners,
in a
listeners,
show.
hold on. I'm directing to the listeners. Listeners, in no way is Anna Paquin at all a whore. She has never been a whore. She is not one now. But she did play one on TV to excellent and wonderful effect. That's Anna
feel like-
Paquin making whoring great since the early 2000s. Thanks, visitors.
I feel like Matt.
Sorry, listeners.
Too,
I don't really know what I'm doing. It's
is
the
the guy
football.
is the guy who like gets angry at the villain in a TV show and writes the actor on like Twitter, being like, "You're a jerk." And
All the time.
the actor who played Joffrey in Game of
All
Thrones.
the time.
You're an asshole.
I
Yeah.
mean, Matt, Spencer, you were just talking about getting rid of this Matt and getting another Matt from another universe. We might get this Matt.
Oh yeah, you're right. That is a good
You're
example
true.
of how it is worse.
We'll get this Matt with ginger beard and the same hat.
Oh
Is that what you
no,
want?
Those who don't know.
that's not.
Is that
no.
what you desire?
No.
But let's talk more about the multiverse in general because,
Yes.
say what you want. It's hard not to make it confusing because it is confusing. And we all love this shit. We all care a lot about this stuff. And even we're like,
Do we, though?
I mean, yeah, we all like Marvel. We like the stories. We like comics. We like the things they
When
represent.
done well,
Yeah.
I guess, but I mean, most comic fans tend to really dislike the whole multiverse
No, but
thing.
they're not fans. Is zealot's the right word? What's the word where like you love something so you hate everything about it?
Redditor?
Michael
yeah.
Chiklis.
Michael
I think Redditor's closer.
Reddit is
Redditor.
definitely close. What is the word for that?
Yeah,
Schadenfreude?
No. What?
that's not how that works.
It
What's
kind of
the-
does.
Sour
It's not
grapes?
even how you pronounce the word, first of all.
It's the word.
Schadenfreude?
It's the word where you take an exercise elastic band and then you try to demonstrate how to use it and you try to step on it, but then it misses and snaps you in
Nuts
the
on your
nuts.
face? Ah, the
And-
nuts? Okay.
On the
Yeah.
nuts, and then you collapse and fart twice and moan.
What is happening right now?
You've entered the multiverse.
I missed 5 minutes ago.
So the
Yeah.
point being, right? The thing with the multiverse, no matter what side of the discussion you sit, the format matters a lot. And so multiverse in movies, there have been more misses than hits. But then if you've seen the Loki show, for example, that's a really great interpretation or rather example of how you can really execute it. And
Is it
Weave
is
it.
it just a matter of it being done well in one thing and not in another, or is it because the TV series has a longer runtime overall?
that is
and they
a
can't
big
expe-
part
right?
of that
I
equation.
think that's that.
But No
because
Way
it's
Home
so
did it well.
complicated.
You know
I'm
what
not
it
saying
is?
it's impossible, but yeah.
But it wasn't the main thing in the like. It was a vehicle for something else.
I mean, it was kind of a
Yeah.
big deal because they
It
brought.
was
No,
a big
that's-
deal, but it was
the
there to tell a
multiverse-
story, right?
The multiverse can be the environment. It can't be the story.
Exactly.
It's
That's
the
exactly what I
environment.
meant.
If you think of where it was always used good or used well, because grammar,
Fair.
Kelsey grammar.
Kelsey grammar, but
the dictionary in my hand. I'm getting your
But-
wreck.
legit though, the stories are based on the characters, and the multiverse is kind of just the world they inhabit. It's not we're gonna go and explore the multiverse because that's
Yeah.
pointless. You just get a whole bunch of crap thrown in your
Yeah.
face repeatedly without any context.
The Doctor Strange movie did that. and
Quantumania.
It was really like poor, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, being based in Deadpool had the decency to be like, okay, we have he went to 616 for like 5 hot minutes, but basically he just stayed in the Fox verse.
And the Void, and that was
and
it.
the void, and so it's easy to follow the movie because people come into your space, but you're just staying in your area, so
Yeah.
you're not confused.
And they
whereas-
talk about
Yeah.
the other universes. They even show like the Cavalry, right?
yeah,
But they don't dwell on it, and it's not like the main point of the movie to just tell the story about the multiverses.
Yeah, and like even in the contact. Like they're the multiverse is also time travel, right? So they're like constantly jumping through time.
I mean,
as well, but they don't really do it in this story.
Well, I mean, that's part of the problem is that it probably shouldn't also be time travel, but
You should definitely not.
if you're just adding to the complex layers. But you're right, Spencer. That's what they do. They just go wherever and whenever they need to do what they want.
Yeah, it's just I really think that they should. I mean, I assume they're going to do this. Is the next Avengers movie is going to be like the battle for the multiverse, unfortunately, and then at the end it's going to like end the multiverse saga, whatever. It's going to be like now multiverse travel has been banned and has been all technologies that allow it have been destroyed.
We already know they're going to do a riff on Secret Wars, right?
Yeah, where everything essentially gets exploded and then certain things get pasted together because of Doctor Doom, and then
which they did in the comics exactly for the same reason that they're doing in the movies, because it got completely out of hand.
There's always a bit of a reset, over the trajectory of comic publication to clean house a little bit.
The thing is, in comics, I think we're so used to, this is not that Wolverine, this is not that Cyclops, right? We're so used to that I guess we tolerate it better, but
you don't want that in movies.
It's not
it doesn't work. Yeah, look at the movies, like when they had like the two Jokers. Remember, there's like the Joaquin Phoenix and the Jared Leto, and it was just like garbage. We were like, wait, why do I care about two Jokers? Just
don't worry, they had a third that evened it out.
Yeah, who was the third one again? Oh yeah, Barry Keoghan. No, Barry Keoghan. Yeah. See, like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And the problem is because they're trying to tell, their own stories with multiverse. A lot of the time in the comics is just like a device for something else. It's not like, we're gonna pick this specific actor to play and all that.
That's kind of all it is. It's just franchising.
Yeah, it's franchising.
Right now it's franchising for DC because now Robert Pattinson's Batman isn't in the DCEU properly.
Yeah.
So he does his own thing, but that doesn't mean that. I assume then that also means that Joaquin Phoenix's Joker is off in his own verse because like the timelines don't add up. Those movies are 70s.
No, they said that. They said that Joaquin Phoenix one. It's an Elseworlds world story.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right.
We saw DC's attempt to do multiverse.
oh boy, did we?
The fucking Flash. Yeah. More like the fucking trash.
Yeah.
Just imagine them thinking that. We have 5 different movies, like of bad movies in the DC universe.
Let's put them all
Let's
together.
all connect them. That'll fix it.
And I got a great idea. Yeah. I found this guy sniffing bath salts in the back. He says his name is Ezra. He's perfect for the role.
They say they're perfect for the role.
Oh, here we're talking about which cameos were missing. I mean, Tom Hardy as Venom was missing in this.
I mean,
he was in the trailers.
No, he was not. He was not. Why are you kidding me? No, of course not. Fuck that shit.
Speaking of the trailer,
or like Dakota Johnson as Madam Web. No, get the shift away from this.
Well,
movie.
so speaking of the trailers, this was brought to our attention, which confuses the fuck out of me. But they're making a third Venom movie.
Yes,
they are.
And like so. Is that it for Venom, or is Venom also going to come?
It's called the Final Dance or whatever.
Yeah.
So I always thought the plan was to bring him into the Spider-Man world.
I thought so too.
Well, that's why Michael Keaton showed up in the last one or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Listen, we could do a whole show on how Sony's fucking dropping the ball.
But this is the complicated part because Sony still owns the rights to Spider-Man and they have an agreement. But Venom's owned by Fox, which now is reverted.
Sony.
Oh, that's right, because it's the Sonyverse.
It's all Spider-Man. It's all Sony.
They also own Craven.
And so when Sony collaborates...
and that's a movie.
When Sony collaborates with Marvel and gives them creative freedom, we get, No Way Home. And when Sony does its own thing, we get Madam Web and Venom and
Or
Morbius.
the Tarantula, which apparently is coming.
Oh, fuck.
Why?
Starring
You mean that one guy with spiked toes and the really bad costume from like the 60s?
Guys, my brain hurts.
Maybe.
Let's reel it back in. That was my fault. I shouldn't have set us off on the Venomverse.
We shouldn't have talked about Sony. That was asking for trouble.
So let's streamline back to Marvel and maybe a bit of Fox. So
refreshing.
Like, how do you see them bringing in the X-Men? into this because they've done the.
They finally used the M word in this movie.
They did,
Mutant.
which is a great start, right?
Yeah.
Are they going to acknowledge the other Quicksilver at all, or is he still? We don't talk about him.
Which one, Aaron Taylor Johnson or?
No, he's dead. The other one.
Didn't see that coming.
The one that was good.
That he was so good. Like he was the best part of those movies by far. Yeah.
They already
they
edged
do.
us with that shit in WandaVision. They're like, oh, he's not him. Too bad.
his name's Boner.
Yeah, just kidding. Flies. But like, so how are they going to do it? How are they going to bring X-Men in? Like, obviously, Secret Wars helps connect all the dots at a high level, but they're going to have to cast people potentially. Are they going to get their own mainline movies? Like, how long is it going to take to get to Secret Wars?
I wonder.
I
If
say you bring it in with Scarlet Witch. With a variant Scarlet Witch, who's actually a mutant, like she was supposed to be, not like that garbage that they changed because they didn't own the rights to them.
It's fine. We could say
where
the
they
word.
changed her characterization so she wouldn't be part of it.
I'd be fine bringing her back because killing her in Doctor Strange was one of the dumbest decisions they've made.
Bring her back as a variant who's a proper mutant and the daughter of Magneto.
Oh, and also let's make sure that we get a version of Scarlet Witch that makes sense and not the one we got in the last movie. That doesn't make any
like where she's
sense.
not just someone who shoots beams everywhere, but can actually still remake reality. So she brings the mutants back.
Someone who's an actual witch, maybe, hopefully.
Well, that's
it's in the name.
It's chaos magic that she has. So
Yeah,
it makes
magic.
sense.
That's.
Yeah.
But she
it's
never
not just like purple lightning or red lightning or whatever.
But here's the problem. The main issue is if you bring the X-Men into the MCU, right? The biggest hurdle is you could say, okay, now they're like using magic. Now they're mutants, but they have to have been mutants their whole life because that's what makes them their characters.
They have to come from a universe that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, because they have to also like have the whole world be against mutants because that's also a huge part of their story.
That's what I was gonna say. Like because obviously it was the whole thing with equality and bias and racism and all that stuff. That's why they wrote it. That's why Stan Lee wrote it. But how they're gonna do that if they come from another reality? They're gonna like, go.
They can use
reality.
They can use our reality.
Listen, you don't have to do that. You could literally have them as sort of like urban legends, like all these trashy MAGA dudes online talking about how they saw mutants and mutants are this and mutants are that, but really, are they real? Are they not? And then finally, someone actually, like one of the big ones, characters we know, actually saves someone, and they see that they have powers, and suddenly everybody's like, what the absolute fuck is that? And then that's like a huge thing. They've always been there. They've been
hiding. That would be a hard sell, though. Because if mutants exist, then Apocalypse exists, and then there are mutants for like 6,000 years. How the fuck are they hidden?
But there was like, for God's sake, 6,000 years ago, we were hearing stories about angels flying through the air, and I didn't see no one like that before. That. So they could literally play it off as they were like mysterious Bigfoots and stuff like that.
You're going to hell
when they're really just mutants.
I mean,
think about it. Bigfoot could just be Kelsey Grammer.
The problem,
right?
It's like the thing. This is also the issue I find in the comics with mutants. It's like people are like, "Oh, hi!" It's like I have superpowers, and they're like, "Wow, the people are like, that's so cool. What's your power? I can turn into fire. Oh, that's cool. Did you get radiation? Did you get bit by something? No, I was born with these powers. He's a mutant. He's a dirty mutant. It's it's where anyone who gets powers normally, like any other way,
but
they're heroes.
There's a reason
it's called
for
human
that,
guilt. We poisoned them.
No, it's because mutants pass their genes, so it's like it's one thing when there's an accident and you get powers, or you're like from another world and you have powers. It's another when you can
evolve,
take over humanity. Exactly, yeah.
Okay, so how do you bring that in? Because that's an important element.
Why? It's an important element to you, but is it an important element to Marvel?
Yeah, it is.
It's an important element to the. You have
the story of the mutants. Yeah.
The mutants have to be hated. That's like a huge part of it.
But I don't. Yes, maybe. It depends on what they want to do in the universe with them.
I think they should just have them march in a pride.
Because you have.
I don't think they hate them.
Everyone would hate them for some reason. Yeah. I have no idea, but
you have so many characters already established. You've created this MCU universe that, to Matt's point, you either have to bring them from somewhere else, In which case, are you going to spend the time in a movie to make people in 616 hate mutants? Are you going to send all the heroes to the X-Men universe to like? It's just, I understand it's important to the story, but I don't know if Marvel gives a shit if their goal is to do something different. Like they haven't explained like Hulk more than they need to, right? Like they'll do what they need to get the point across, and then they'll move on. And like maybe they kind of, I guess they explained it with Edward Norton, and that was shit, so no one talks about it anymore. But they didn't want to explain Red Widow or Black Widow.
I think I think they have to do that. Like I don't think it's most of the stories from the comics are like humans against mutants.
Yeah.
All the Sentinels, all their whole like.
Go on, sorry.
Their whole like Wolverine is like such a gruff asshole because he's been prejudiced against his whole life. Like you can't have like the same characters without that backdrop.
Well, they already went that route when Deadpool meets the actual version of Wolverine that he interacts with in this movie. The first thing the bartender says is, none of you are welcome here," right? Like,
yeah,
he's
exactly.
talking about mutants, obviously.
You guys do remember, though, like in the first X-Men comics, people didn't just know mutants existed. They had literally just learned about it, even though they had existed forever because they'd been hiding.
No, I think that's possible.
Through the whole time, as he was a younger man in the war and stuff, no one knew he was a mutant because he hid it. Same thing with Professor X and the rest of them.
He changed names
and all that
and all shit, right?
Yeah, they hid it. So when the whole reaction and the whole hate was when humans suddenly realized that there was not just these aberrations, but they were everywhere. And there was this real threat of like, oh my God, they're popping out and they're taking us over.
So you think that should just happen in the MCU? Like they've been there the whole time?
They've been there the whole time. They've been trying to hide it. And finally someone outs them. And that just starts a whole shit show. And you can even have other superheroes being like, how do we deal with it?
Well, I think anything is possible because, two things. One, you can just go back and retcon whatever you want. You can go back in time and have them show up and then not talk about it. If we really want, like, if we're going to be pedantic about it, like, how many things happen in movies where you're just like, hey, where are the rest of the Avengers? How come no one came and helped Iron Man? How come, right? Like, there's just things.
Why doesn't Superman ever help in Gotham? That sort of thing. Yeah,
like there's just things that happen in comic book worlds that are like we don't ask questions about, and so I think an imperfect entry of X-Men into the universe could be as simple as someone stumbles into their fucking Earth, whatever
layer,
whatever. Like I don't think they're gonna care to bring them into the story. Some of the stories might include it long term, but they'll just feed them in however it makes sense and is easiest to make the movie popular. Not because classically everyone's hated the X-Men. Like that's secondary. Like it's a good storyline, but they might. The first time you see a mutant in a mainline Marvel movie where they matter, it might just be like, oh, you got sent to his universe and he's there, right?
Or do they? Go ahead, Chris.
I still think there's merit to they've been here all the time because the biggest aspect of that in the versions of mutants being present is fear. Humans fearing and being terrified of mutants, and if you can leverage that. Like almost like an outbreak of truth, like a reveal, a leak, and then humanity having to deal with this presence.
Oh, I got it.
Being right,
Chris, you inspired me.
Huge. Oh yeah.
Here we got it. I got it. It's a company. They have been there the whole time. No, shut your face. Sorry, it's my cat. So here's the thing, ready? Because the big hole is like, where have they been? So the thing is, they've been there the whole time, but they've been hiding. Because they don't want to, show themselves because they're afraid of being freaks or whatever. And then when they do come out, the reason people hate them in the MCU is because they're all like resentful that they didn't help with all the shit that went down. Yeah, like where were you during Thanos?
Or like the Eternals.
Yeah, so they're all prejudiced against them, and even the heroes of the MCU don't trust them. And it's almost like X-Men versus...
Oh, that'd be cool.
Because it's like they never helped when they were needed. So it's like this whole so they're actually introduced almost as villains, and then eventually they obviously become heroes.
It's tricky. It's mega interesting. I'm here for it, but the way you frame it, it makes it also sound like they're like we're going more into Inhumans territory, where they're Inhumans completely like a sovereign nation, gives zero fucks about the outside world.
On purpose extricated themselves from.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we've lost the narrative of this thread.
No, you haven't. But
What movie is this?
Yeah, exactly. Deadpool, Wolverine, Deadpool, Wolverine. No, like I think all these things are viable. They can do whatever they want. They own the properties, and they've told good stories, and they'll find ways to tell good stories. And I don't think it's going to matter. Like,
wait, we're talking about Marvel?
Yeah, the whole time.
Those are a lot of words that didn't match.
I know. You're just well. No, they have though. Up until Phase 4, everything they put out was fucking gold. So, you got to give them the benefit of the doubt and how they want to weave this story together.
Thor 2 would like a word.
Well, listen.
Yeah.
All right. Like you can do this for anything
Iron Man
everywhere,
2.
right? There's like little things that are
Iron
like
Man 3.
I mean, but some people really liked Iron Man 3. Like I don't know. Like you can bring up a
I
fucking
know,
movie,
and they're wrong.
Well, you're wrong. The overall point is that they're going to do whatever the fuck they feel like. And
for sure. Yeah.
And so like I think we're a little too like we're arguing down a very narrow set of instances or beliefs that are core to us that we care about. And I'm pretty sure Marvel's not going to do any of them because that's kind of how they operate. Right?
So from what we've seen, for the most part, with the exception of what Matt said, where they had to retcon shit because they didn't own the IP, they've been pretty faithful to the spirit of the stories. So they're not going to bring in mutants as like heroes that everybody loves. I don't think that that's going to be the case, right? But you're right. It doesn't have to be the exact same way that it happened in the comics. Maybe they're escaping from a failing reality, and they all of the mutants from that reality come into 616. Now they're hated because they're like invaders.
Yeah. Honestly, if you really want to know how they're going to do it, just read Jonathan Hickman's run on X-Men. That's literally exactly how they're going to do it. They're basically going to take that comic verbatim and put it into cinematic. That's exactly how they're going to do it. Because Hickman's characters were a revamp of the X-Men where it was a whole time travel thing and it was wiped out, so the X-Men were completely new and started new. And it was a really great run. And it was a great run, and it incorporated a whole lot of stuff, including a really sexy Professor X in a unitard. Really sexy.
Well, I was waiting for it to come back around.
Well, too.
Listen, I'm excited because we're going to get to see exactly what we've always wanted. Patrick Stewart,
in a
90
unitard.
years old, in a unitard.
Spencer's going to be here.
We're talking.
Now.
Listen, we're going to segue into our questions, but I just want to point out that wasn't he in a unitard in Star Trek all the time?
You're goddamn right.
Oh, but this is going to be skin tight.
Okay.
This is going to be like, there's nothing to the imagination.
Let's segue into our fun question section of the podcast. Matt, for this section, because you haven't answered anything seriously so far, you have to answer these seriously. We're all going to make jokes. All right? Just so we're doing the opposite.
No joking allowed for you.
Yeah, no fun whatsoever. Let's no, we're gonna start asking questions. I don't know. No more talking. Let's start off easy. We saw Elektra, we saw Blade, we saw Gambit, Johnny Storm, we saw Pyro, the guy who fucking blips around everywhere. I can't remember his name.
Discount Juggernaut.
Bastion?
Is it Bastion?
No,
Yeah.
that's not
Discount
Bastion.
Juggernaut.
That's Azazel.
Thank you.
Azazel. Yeah.
Azazel, thank you. Yeah.
Red-faced Nightcrawler.
Yeah. Reverse Nightcrawler. Anyways, I just want to ask some questions.
He's dead.
No, sir. Not yet.
No,
Save it.
Daywalker?
That's me. Don't tell Blade, by the way.
Yeah.
So I want to know how so many people got to the Void, because they're just all in the Void. But, let's find out how they got there. And let's ask Spencer's cat, too, just to make sure she's involved.
Yeah.
Let's start off with Chris.
Yes.
Chris, can you tell me how Elektra got to the Void?
So Elektra in her universe, she had Daredevil and Stick trained her. And Stick owned the Hand. That version of the Hand was involved in some dark occultism.
Aren't they all?
Well,
that just
this
sounds
one,
so sexy. He stick trained her and gave her the
I know.
hand. Like, come on, man.
I know. I saw you cracking, and it's okay. But you see, this hand had his hand in a lot of delicatessen meats. Okay,
Oh,
and
yeah.
these meats were imported. Okay, imported from their universe's Costco, which is called Roscoe's chicken. Wait for it, and Brussels sprouts. But those Brussels sprouts are bad. Those Brussels sprouts cooked into the batter of the waffles. Okay, demonic paprika.
Okay.
And so the TVA observed this weird concoction that is clearly a violation of FDA and restauranting protocols. So Elektra wanted to step in and correct the hand working all this meat. And what happens is that something is gonna explode in the process. Okay,
That
and
would
so
be
what
me.
happened? Well, I wasn't pointing at you, but you decided to chime in there. Meow. But what happens as a result of that is Elektra decides to take responsibility of the hand and all that deli meat, right? That meat going bad. And so the TV is like, listen, are you an assassin or are you Guy Fieri? And she's like, listen, don't put that responsibility on me. I carve my own path. Okay, I'm an entrepreneur. And then they said, listen, pick a lane, Jennifer Garner. And she's like, that's not my name. You put some respect on my name. My name is Elektra Natasios. And then they said, we don't like all this back chat. Zap.
All that I heard was there was some hand stroking some meat, and then she ended up in the void. So hand gibbers. That's how she got to the void.
Yeah. And stick training.
Yeah, well,
It's implied by the hand
yeah,
gibber.
but the hand
That is
gibbers,
stick
yeah,
training.
for sure.
Thank you. Chris, that all made complete sense and definitely wasn't meandering whatsoever. Spencer.
I yield my time.
Thank you. Yeah, you should. Spencer.
Yes.
How did Johnny Storm get to the void?
Okay. I'm trying to remember where we left off with Johnny Storm. It was in the Silver
Race
Surfer
War.
movie.
Yeah.
Silver Surfer movie?
Yeah.
Well, that's the wrong Johnny Storm, isn't it?
No.
No, it's the right one.
Is the right one? Okay.
The second Fantastic Four movie with Johnny. His name Johnny
Oh, that's
Storm?
right. That was a movie.
Yeah,
Well,
Johnny Storm.
sounds
Yeah.
Not the
fake.
actor though. The actor has another name.
So I'm going to say that
Respect on
in
his
that
name.
movie, if you recall, the Galactus gas came and attacked.
Oh yes. Oh, I'd forgotten about
So
that.
I'm going to retcon that and say that was just like a first wave. That was literally just Galactus like farting in their general direction, and it wasn't actually him attacking.
Right.
And
That's literally how I refer to it when it happens at dinners.
yeah. So
The first wave.
once they realize that Galactus is still out there, Silver Surfer goes with Johnny Storm because they're the only ones who can travel fast enough to go find Galactus, and on a recon mission. And on their way there, Johnny Storm pushes his limits and tries to follow the Silver Surfer, who's way too fast because he doesn't actually travel. He bends space-time. I made that up, but it's happening. And he
that
accidentally...
makes about as much sense as anything
Shut
in the movie. Though.
your face.
I'm agreeing
that was
with
actually
you,
agreement.
bitch.
I agree with you. Thank you. Namaste.
Everything you said was wrong, and fuck you. There.
And then because Johnny Storm is traveling in the wake of the Silver Surfer, he gets displaced from space-time. And that sends him into the void. I was going to say that the TVA find him and send him there. I'm just going to say that alone. Ejects him
himself into the void.
Ejects him into the void.
Spencer,
So
what-
it was a sexual exploration?
Well, and he was following the Silver Surfer, so you could imagine
Yes.
that view.
So yes.
There it is. Okay. I was just asking for that, but funny. He did it.
Talk.
He wants to bang. What do you think? So the Silver Surfer was in that movie was a combination of the body of Doug Jones and the voice of Lawrence Fishburne.
I don't think it was it Doug Jones? Wasn't it like a
Yeah.
male model?
Doug Jones.
Doug Jones.
Doug
Doug Jones does all the
Who's Doug Jones?
Everything that has a humanoid body and not really.
So everyone
face?
on Earth.
No,
Abe
no.
Sapien from
Yeah,
Hellboy.
Abe Sapien.
I know.
Yeah.
I know Doug
Yeah, go.
Jones.
Oh.
Who do you think I am?
I don't know.
other
Fucking
Matt asked.
Fucking Matt too.
I don't know who the heck he is. Like, who is this Doug Jones?
He's an
Like,
extremely
how do they
tall.
find him? They just literally look at him and be like, "Yeah, you look human
Yes,
enough."
he's an
The shape
extremely
of
tall
water.
man who
No,
plays
it's-
all the monsters in
It's
Hollywood
not.
these days.
It's not you look human enough. It's like you don't look human enough to pass for human, but be weird. You're our guy. That's what they did with Doug.
That's
with Doug
what they did.
Jones.
Moving on. Who else do I want to know about? Hey. Oh, I don't know. Luciano.
That was a
This is
mistake.
calculating. Who am I going to ask about whom? Because this can go in a bad direction.
Luciano,
Yes.
how did Blade get to the multiverse?
Ice skating uphill. I yield my time.
Fair enough. Moving on. Matt, how did Gambit get to the Void?
I'm glad you asked.
Life don't get much better than this.
So, what's the name of the character of the head of the TVA? I always forget it. She's she was like the soldier, and then she became the head of the
B-15.
Yeah.
B-15. So she's on, I guess, shore leave. Do they get shore leave? There,
Sure.
is that what it's called, or space
Sure.
leave?
Yes.
Time leave.
Also
TVA,
accepted.
the TVA famously a ship. So
Yeah. So she's just sitting around watching movies from different timelines, and she stumbles across this gem called Magic Mike. And she just loves it.
Yeah.
You know?
Rightly
Who
so.
doesn't?
It writes itself, right? Who doesn't? It's got
Yeah.
great stick training.
Gambit's in
Anyway,
it.
wonderful. She starts to feel like this is like, who is this brilliant man? And then she looks him up and she finds it's Channing Tatum. So she starts going through all the different versions of Channing Tatum. And when she's going through this, she starts to see him in a lot of these things. He's always like pitching this one concept, this idea of Gambit. And she doesn't know who that is. And she knows everyone. She's like, who is Gambit? So then she finally stumbles across a space world where there's like the 90s cartoon. And she's like, oh my God, that's who the Gambit is. So she's like, okay, that's great. But she's like so in love with Channing Tatum. So in love that she eventually lures him to like a specific area.
The way you say
It's
that
a
is just,
spirit
it's so
Halloween.
sexually charged and creepy.
So what she does is,
what? Do you think he's
she
doing it on
goes to a
purpose?
world. She goes to a world. She's got to like, I got to meet Channing Tatum. And the best way to make his dreams come true is to make this Gambit person real. So she goes to a world which is all spirit Halloweens. Just wall-to-wall, abandoned spirit Halloweens.
The worst timeline.
Absolutely. we're the best. I mean,
Hard to
it's
say.
literally, I don't know what the world would be called. I mean, maybe a
Spirit.
post-apocalyptic New Jersey. There's just a lot of spirit Halloweens and random coffee shops.
Yeah.
So she lures him in. She gets him there, and he's like, what are we going to do here? And she's like, oh, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Then she holds him down. All while, I don't know, listening to...
Baby, bye, bye, bye.
Yeah. has
There
to
you
be.
go.
Has to be.
There's a lot of sounds in there that work. She gets him down. She stuffs him in this, like, as I said, boy's extra small Gambit suit. Ties him down and says, speak to me in Cajun.
You're coming with me, boy.
And he says, sister, I don't know any Cajun. She says, well, have you ever seen a Popeyes commercial? He's like, yeah. She's like, well, you just do that. Starts talking to him, and immediately, the magic's gone. She's just like, no, stop. And he's like, but I can't. I love you too. She's like, no, stop. And eventually, she's just had enough, and she zaps him with her prod.
Mm-hmm.
And then furiously masturbates in the spirit Halloween.
As one does.
As is tradition.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
traditional.
So I think that sort of roughly rambles into how he got there.
No, sir. Yield your time.
I'm yielding it for you.
You've done enough.
Your time has been yelled.
Yeah. Moving on. Hey, can someone explain to me why Nice Pool is the only pool that doesn't regenerate?
I'd like to think that the events that get Deadpool his regenerative powers, he just didn't do because he was just too
nice,
chill. And I don't think because in the show he gets in the movie he gets his powers from getting test cancer treatments.
Yeah.
So I think that his good attitude, he never got cancer because he was just living such a positive energy life.
So everyone who's ever died of cancer.
Hold on.
Everyone who's ever died of cancer is assholes. Gotcha.
Yeah. No.
I'm glad we established.
No, that's unfair.
Don't put words in my mouth.
That's unfair, Matt. What he's saying is everyone who's got cancer and didn't get healed is an asshole.
No.
Oh, okay.
I think they even said that in the movie. They're like, didn't Deadpool one point in the movie, can't you just bottle up and it turns into cancer like a normal person? He says that in the movie.
He does say that, yes.
So there, I have backup evidence here. In the Marvel universe, if you bottle up your emotions, it hypothetically can turn into cancer in this universe. So, the Nice Pool, he just chills. He lights some candles and he vibes
To Enya.
And I don't even know why he has weapons. He doesn't use them.
No.
It's all decorative.
No, he's not killing anybody.
Yeah, so that's why he never needed the powers, because he never gets in a fight.
Which makes it so weird because his suit is so shiny and like more chiseled and he has swords. But if that's the case and he's been so chill, then the suit and weaponry indicates that he spent time in special forces. So
no, he
could be cosplaying.
No, it's not cosplay. He trains women's self-defense classes.
Oh, Tybo.
Yeah.
So he's a predator, is what you're saying.
He's a sexual predator.
I didn't say he was a Matt too.
How? How, Sway? How? He identifies as a feminist.
I identify as a massive whore.
Oh, like Anna Paquin.
Not too soon.
Wow.
Wow. Just Anna Paquin just catching strays.
Two out of 5.
Pretty sure she just opened a nunnery.
Anyways, back on a Nice Pool not having regenerative powers. Spencer, that's a very other than denigrating cancer patients.
Hey, fuck cancer. I'll denigrate. No, you said denigrating cancer, and there's a period there. Sentence over.
More of an ellipsis, but let's continue.
Nice Pool only regenerates.
Let's just agree semicolon, okay?
When he has his dog Pool, and since his dog is always running away from him, and they were separated in that final-ish scene for Nice Pool.
Are you saying the dog is his familiar?
The dog is part of his dyad.
Oh no!
His
Fuck
diet?
you!
Fuck
you!
Yep.
The dyad.
I heard the dyad word.
Yep, the dyad word was invoked. Moving on. Can someone, Spencer alluded to this earlier, but I think we need to tackle it. The worst Wolverine, as they dub him. All the X-Men. They call him the worst Wolverine.
I know.
No. That's what we're with. All the X-Men die. I know. What's the question? Yeah, if you don't interrupt me, you'll fucking find out.
You went, and I was like, what?
That's great podcasting. Thank you.
Riveting stuff.
Riveting stuff.
That's what you did.
Can we continue now?
I was waiting for you.
Well, I didn't want to upset you by not speaking proper English.
I didn't want to interrupt you interrupting me.
Oi, governor! I was X-Men's. I can't. I'm censoring. I'm censoring it. I'm gone. I lost.
I believe in you.
I lost it.
Oh, the old X-Men. Come away. I don't know what your question is. I just didn't know what your question was. I had to stop.
What is happening?
Conor McGregor has entered the room.
Hello.
Yeah, Michael Cocaine. I'm Michael Cocaine.
Michael
Cocaine. Michael Cocaine.
The question is, the worst Wolverine's X-Men are all dead. He says that he got them all killed, but we find out he just goes to the bar and gets drunk. So what happens to those X-Men when he's off getting plastered?
AIDS.
That the humans came in and just spread AIDS.
For fuck's sake.
Jesus Christ.
I'll go with that one. Fucking tragedy.
Full
man.
blown explosive AIDS.
COVID. They spread COVID. Is that better?
Thank you.
No,
Yes.
no, it's not. Well, better than explosive AIDS. Yes.
I mean, that's some powerful
Hard
COVID.
You see
slow,
the
but
X-Men
it
is
is better.
You see
All
the
the
X-
X-Men.
you see the X-Men's problem was their negative energy.
Yes.
They bottled up that anger, and you know what happens.
I don't. Please
They
tell
were
me.
assholes, so they got
God.
cancer.
Jesus. Yeah, that story tracks. That's how how
Okay,
the Marvel verse works.
I'm gonna try to rail us into a funny,
please. I'm in.
a funny, non-serious comic book related answer.
He says as he flips open the comic book.
Oh, I was looking for something else in here. I think I have the Hickman run, Matt. Anyways,
If you're going to talk about railing me and then bring me this, then
Yes.
we're just forget about it.
well, we're not gonna forget because I brought all this railing and lubing. Now, furthermore, Caliente, Scovilles, Sentinels. Logan said the humans came. I don't think the humans could have done this alone. They needed some sort of firepower. And if you have Storm Omega level, that's you're still going to need a lot of firepower. And so,
Firepower.
oh shit,
Firepower.
firepower. And so, I think it might be safe to venture a guess that with Sentinel, like regular Sentinels that we're used to seeing, like in the animated series and shit like that, it's not enough. It's not enough. And I think Henry Gyrick, if we know, take your pick from any human leader against against mutant kind. Sentinel is one of their only approaches to depowering or challenging mutants, apart from like those collars that are supposed to like render their abilities not inert, but like I can't think of the word, inactive.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You said you were going to be funny.
That's right, bitch. So the point is that after Luciano's fucking got his cat out of his asshole, the Sentinels came through and said, "Listen, we're tired of you putting in all these orders to Quiznos. We need real monetary value. When are you going to come to work?" And then Charles is like, "I have so many dividends and investments that I don't need to work, baby. Okay. Furthermore, my family here, my family is full of entrepreneurs. We don't need to work for you. You gonna work for us." And they're like, "We're tired of this backwards hierarchy. Get in the kitchen." And then that's when the kerfuffle took place, and then many X-Men were felled in the process.
This one's on me.
So
he was doing something coherent, and then I called him out.
No,
My
it's fine.
bad. My bad.
That's right.
Hey,
So AIDS. That's what we're gonna go with this one. Is AIDS.
God damn it, gentlemen!
You can't fix perfection, boys.
I'm gonna move this forward for the sake of humanity, and
It feels right.
the question I want to have,
Do
the
it.
last question I have, the most important question is: we learned about this idea of an anchor being as a reason for this whole movie to exist because Logan died in Logan, and the real question here, I think, is who is the anchor being for our Earth, which annotated by Marvel is 1218. So Earth 1218. Who is the anchor person?
It's Don Knotts.
I think he's dead.
Oh no!
Oh no!
That's right.
Oh,
And look at our world now.
Is that why it's a
Patrick
rebel?
Swayze.
Patrick Swayze.
Patrick
yeah.
Swayze, also a great contender.
That's why we've only got another 10,000 years. That's it.
No, I mean, if it's someone who died, I can understand why things are the way that they are right now.
Sure. Okay.
Adolf Hitler.
It's gotta be a fucking hero, you son of a bitch.
Oh, I didn't hear that part. I didn't hear that part.
Somebody had to.
It was a catch-22. We gotta kill him, but what cost?
Yeah, one job, goddammit, Spencer. One motherfucking job. And this is what you choose to do with the airtime, goddammit.
Fine. T.J. Miller.
Thank you. That's much better.
Oh, nice.
JD Vance.
Oh, fuck.
Who's that? Is he a preacher?
The couch fucker?
Yeah.
The couch fucker. Yeah.
What is that? I don't even want. I am not Googling that.
It's fine.
Okay.
Just Google couch fucker. It'll
What's the worst that can happen?
I shan't. You will not. You will not make me do that. I will not allow you to let me do that. Nope.
His stance in politics. He likes his couches like he likes his ladies. Pull out.
Oh no.
Wait.
Anyway, what?
I think
I messed that one up.
the true anchor being of our reality is Bob Hope.
Oh, or John Ritter.
Are they dead, or are we still have hopes here?
No,
there's a better Bob. Bob Ross. There, done. I found it. It's Bob Ross.
What about
Bob Ross.
What about
Correct
Stan
me if
Lee?
I'm wrong, though. Isn't if they're dead, doesn't that mean our world is going to die?
It's already dying.
Have you
Get on
seen how
board.
things are
That's
lately?
the joke, you son of a bitch.
Didn't you see the movie? Houseway.
So AIDS?
With how bad things are now, I'm going to say Caveman number 4.
It's died a while ago.
It's been deteriorating.
Yeah, it was
So you're
Jesus.
saying
Jesus was
Bill
real.
Hart-
There you go.
For real.
That's
There
what
you
happened.
We nailed
Let's
it.
move.
We
Let's move
nailed
off this
it like
topic.
we nailed him to the cross.
Moving on.
What do you mean we?
You especially know what I'm saying.
What do you mean we? Me and you specifically.
If it involves crucifixion, it doesn't involve me.
I'm not. I don't know
Anyway.
what happened. I want to know. Let's talk about the end of this movie, specifically the end of this podcast, and specifically, I want to know your reviews of this movie. For those who don't remember, and I'll say this to our audience, like our podcast members, don't forget. But podcast members, listen, just in case you don't remember.
Pay
other than that,
attention.
just pay attention here for a real quick second. We use the S tier. S is the highest. F is the lowest. We want to know your ranking, and we want to know a little bit of why you put it at that ranking. It's pretty easy overall, unless you're Luciano. Luciano, go first.
Wow.
It was a segue.
Prove him wrong.
Segue.
Prove him wrong.
All right.
Prove him wrong.
Prove me wrong.
I will.
Fight!
I love
I
this
give
movie.
it a Q.
I give it a pie. I really love this movie. It's like high octane fun injected into eyeballs. Story doesn't make much sense. Doesn't have to. It's just like I went in wanting to see Ryan Reynolds play himself as Deadpool, and I got that. I wanted to see a bunch of jokes, crude jokes that like I used to make him in 5th grade. Got that. I don't honestly like. It's not a perfect movie, but it's a really, really good movie. It's an S for me.
Hey.
Damn, son.
Wow, high praise.
Out the gate.
I pray. Snaps in the chat. Snaps in the chat.
Let's go to Chris.
What's up, bitches? Tired of all this tomfoolery, okay? Looking at all this nonsense, looking on like my code name is Tom Dooley. First of all, this movie is exactly what you need to see, okay? If you just because we do all this rigmarole and up, down, and left, right, A, B, B, select, start, that doesn't mean that you need to actually do the opposite of what we say. What you need to listen to are these words specifically. Go see the damn movie. This movie was an S.
Christ.
Don't
I'm
worry
so
about it.
confused right now.
Good.
This was
Good.
This was a stroke in word form.
Why do I feel like I'm being berated?
That's right. Y'all when you go to a wing spot, you always make sure you get the heat. Okay?
I feel like I'm being berated by my sexually confused uncle.
Well, listen. I'm not touching you. You're not pretty enough for me.
That's what he said.
Exactly.
It's all too real.
Exactly. Anyway,
It doesn't excuse the uncle, but we're gonna not dwell on this and move on to
fantastic. This movie had all the right parts of a superhero equation for me. It is an S for me as well. Can't wait to see it again, and really happy that we all got to go and hang out and see this and enjoy a ton of laughs and action and all of the chiseled sexuality of one Hugh Jackman.
All of the stick training and the deli meat
Goodness
handling.
gracious! Like I was happy enough that he was in a respectable yellow and blue Wolverine uniform and all of the ferocity, but the fact that he went shirtless at the end scene, chef's kiss, drooling. I yield my time.
You didn't give it a goddamn letter.
You did.
No,
I said yes.
Like
Did
twice,
you listen to this
times.
podcast?
I blanked
A
out.
stroke now.
I blacked out.
I blacked
You were
out.
remembering the thing with your uncle.
Yeah.
That's trauma. Just so we're
That's what
clear.
happens. That's what happens when I slip something into
I
your
Complex
blacked you out
PTSD.
just like I blacked him out.
That's right. You went to your safe space, your happy
All right,
place,
who's
in your
next?
mind palace.
Hey Spencer,
Yo.
let's bury that trauma deep down inside.
Okay, Uncle Drew.
What's your review for Deadpool and Wolverine?
It was I'll make it less insane than Chris's. It was
hard.
a very good movie. It was everything you wanted to be. I will say this: if you expect this movie to be like fixing the MCU, it wasn't that. It was more actually, like a lot of people have been saying, a love letter to all the years past at Fox, which is,
Yep.
as someone who grew up with those movies, X-Men being the first superhero movie I saw in theaters, and it fucking blew my mind. It was awesome. I truly love this movie more than I was expecting to. So it's also an S for me, which is, that just says something. We all really snaps in the chat. Snaps in the chat.
Wow. Other Matt, what are you going to do here? What's your play?
All right. Well, the first thing I want to do is I want to take a moment here to apologize to Michael
Yeah.
Chiklis,
Great.
Michael B.
Paquin.
Jordan,
Are you forgetting
Chris
somebody?
Evans,
Are you forgetting anyone?
Nick Nolte,
Okay.
Anna Paquin.
Oh,
I want to make an
okay.
apology there.
Yeah.
And AIDS. Now, moving on, I want to
Apologize.
Always getting a bad rep.
Thank God.
Now, I also
Someone's
wanted to say,
pilfering.
same thing. This movie was great. This movie was really good. I really did. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to apologize first to Ryan Reynolds because I don't like him. I don't know what it is. I don't like it. I don't. I liked the Deadpool movies. He annoys me. That being said, I really do like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I was super stoked to be able to see him finally. He does work well with Ryan Reynolds. True. Really good through there. I don't see how they're going to be able to cast another Wolverine. This is another one of those ones where it's just like, how are you going to pass that torch?
Let it die for a while.
Yeah, I just don't know. But
Cavalry.
I guess. I don't know. It's like the Joker, man. How do you pass on to that? They're going to need another Heath Ledger
What if they just
come in and just do it well and then die of a drug overdose. I'm sorry, Heath Ledger.
Apologize to
anyway,
Heath Ledger.
Apologizing for
real.
overdoses.
Apologies in the chat. Apologies in the chat.
Apologies to
In the
lethal
end,
drugs.
I also give this an S, I would say.
Oh, nice.
For sorry.
All right.
Great job. This movie was a lot of fun. I think they hit all the right tones with Deadpool. Jokes, laughter, excitement. The fights with him and Wolverine were exactly what you would have dreamed. Little love letters to Canada, as much as they could. Even they had the
CN
Welsh Deadpool.
Yeah,
and
well,
the CN Tower,
Yeah.
the Welsh Pool.
Yeah.
So I think they hit all the right beats. I am curious on future viewings if I will be so entertained, and not because it's not a fun movie, but because a lot of the fun is the shock of the cameos, and seeing those people play those roles, and their roles are useful in the movie, but the movie forces the roles to give the cameo. So I'll be curious to see how that plays out. So, I think for me, I would give it an A, not an S, just because
God.
I'm not sure how much I will revisit this movie.
That was
I
the
was
first
torn as
ever all S's.
No, it wasn't.
Shut
Yeah,
up.
right.
Well, with Matt here, it's the first time we've had 5 people.
You
so
would have been
fuck
the
you.
first all asses, yes.
So we realize now that if we lose original Matt,
we're good.
Our podcast timeline will be intact because we have another Matt.
I just realized I needed to apologize to Jeff Healy.
Oh my god! The brick joke.
I was gonna say that I think Matt too is the prime being of this podcast, but then he said that. So
is that why the podcast is?
He's back out.
So you're back out.
Unraveling.
Yeah, it's unraveling.
No,
well, thank you very much.
No
everybody.
snaps in the chat for you, Matt.
Fucking.
That's all right.
I am an individual who walks his own path, who believes that Josh Trank was a visionary. And,
Oh my god! Stop the recording.
Now you're expelled.
His
Stop the
vision
recording.
gone too soon.
It's gone too soon. Fox restricted him from his true, pure vision.
Release the Trank cut.
Release the Trank cut. But so, thank you very much, guys. That was great. Next week, we are taking a left turn, going 180. I don't know what the direction we're going in is. We're going to watch Ghostbusters.
We are?
Yes.
Yeah, but not the one you want us to watch.
Oh,
We're
no.
watching Ghostbusters Frozen Empire.
Oh, no. I haven't even seen Ghostbusters Origins? Afterlife?
Don't worry, it's not going to be a
haven't
problem for
either.
you. It won't be a problem for you.
Okay, good.
Because
Trust
the
me.
people who
Promise?
wrote it didn't see it either.
It's like you're just going to be confused for about 10 minutes as to why these people are in the movie.
Got
Don't
it.
worry about that.
Okay.
And then the rest of it is, it's fine. It's just a story about ghosts and busting.
and busting. And busting
Yeah.
making people feel good.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yep.
So join us next week when we Ghostbusters.
We bust. We bust. Busted.
We bust and
Fucking
bust
bust in next
and
week.
bust.
Anyone else realizing that that's a great name for